Good morning, I'm Dr. Paul Kiritsis and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be continuing with the short blog tour on the Greek gods and goddesses, and the subject of today's blog or episode is Ares, the god of war. So Ares is the god of war, but he's also the god of slaughter and bloodshed. He's the progeny of the king and queen of all gods and mortals. So we're looking at the mighty Zeus and a woman who has been shown, has been depicted by the classical myths as being a jealous woman, and that's Hera. It appears that both abhorred him predominantly because of the debased, inhumane and rudimentarily based characteristics and qualities of human nature he came to epitomize. The Greeks fostered an immense ambivalence towards this Olympian entity throughout the course of Hellenistic history and ascribed to him a Thracian heritage. And of course, I myself am of Thracian origin, and the Thracians were particularly known for their savagery and for their brutal tactics in war. It goes without saying that the Greeks considered the Thracians barbaric and ruthless in disposition. In contrast to Pallas Athena, who was intimately connected to military strategy, leadership and success, Ares came to represent all that was savage and brutal in war. So cold-blooded murder, carnage, Machiavellian and emotionally discoloured tactics, as well as less than honourable motives that might serve as precursors to full-fledged war. In scrying, when we look at classical mythology or the realm of classical mythology, one will discern Ares' limited role in Olympian affairs. He willingly embarked on an indecent liaison with the goddess of love, Aphrodite, over here, and the consummation of their union spawned 6 children. Eros, so the 6 children were Eros, the god of love; Anteros, the god of requited love; Phobos, the god of fear; Deimos, the god of terror; Harmonia, the goddess of harmony and concord; and Adrestia, the goddess of revenge and balance. At one time, Hephaestus, the legitimate companion of Aphrodite, exposed their duplicity by ensnaring the canoodling lovers unawares, reducing them into a minuscule knot, and then hauling them to the heavenly mount, so that all his fellow Olympians could witness the adulterous act firsthand and pass judgment upon the naked couple. He yields a numinous presence in the Trojan War, obviously being the god of war, but all too often we find the seemingly invincible warrior reduced to the rabble of a grovelling coward. During the furious struggle between the Greeks and the Trojans, Ares is wounded and returns to his father on Olympus, beseeching a reprise of compassion and an empathetic shoulder to cry on. Instead, Zeus gives him a verbal lashing, and what he says, the words that he says are, "Do not sit beside me and whine, you double-faced liar. To me you are the most hateful of all gods who hold Olympus. Forever quarrelling is dear to your heart, wars and battles. And yet I will not long endure to see you in pain, since you are my child, and it was to me that your mother bore you. But were you born of some other god and proved so ruinous, long since you would have been dropped beneath the gods of the bright sky." Appropriately, the ancient Greeks deprived Ares of any notable tribute or reverence. There were never any cult centers or temples built to honor the archetype that this god obviously symbolizes. Both the scavenging vulture and probably less fittingly the domesticated dog were sacred to him. Of course, I don't know why they classed a dog, or why they associated the dog with the concept of Aries, given that a dog is a very faithful animal and a very good animal, and will stay faithful to you for all your life. Aries is usually equated with the Roman Mars. So that concludes our little discourse for the day, and I will see you next time. The next lesson is on Athena, or Pallas Athena. See you then.